safe for our residents. And we have and we will continue to take all steps necessary to ensure this is true. And through the sole and extensive efforts of the city, it is still true today. Our drinking water is safe. However, this continues to come at a large price tag to the city. We have spent a great deal of money on our efforts to keep our drinking water safe. And now we are currently in the process of spending even more to put into place the treatment components at our water facility necessary to treat the water that Ameren has been found by the EPA to have contaminated. It is vital to St. Charles that we are compensated fully for all damages and costs caused by the chemical pollution by Ameren, and now it's time for our next action. As a result, we have retained the law firms of Dowd Bennett, LLP, and the Blitz Law Firm to aggressively represent the city's interest in the non-Superfund portion of this matter. The law firms will only be compensated for their work upon successful completion of this matter. I have full confidence that these experienced, accomplished local law firms will serve our clients well. Thank you. I'd like to introduce former Governor Nixon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Borgmeyer. And we appreciate your confidence in these firms. We've worked together on a number of things over the years, have a great level of trust with each other, and I'm confident that you will receive from the team that we've put together the kind of legal representation that is necessary in a matter of this nature and is the most likely to lead to a successful conclusion. It's a very strong team. We've been retained to deal with state law damage claims, not the CERCLA side, the state law damage claims, and to hold Ameren accountable and to make sure that the taxpayers here of St. Charles are not the ones that end up footing the bill here, and that not only in the future is there the opportunity for everyone to continue to drink clean water, but also that the dollars match up and the long-term position goes back to where it was, which is strong for the region. There are a number of state law claims. I'm not going to go through those here. This is not a case we're going to try in the press. This is not something where I'm going to lay evidence out as we move through it. It will take us some period of time to put all of this sort of stuff together, but rest well assured that we are preparing what we believe to be a very strong effort that will put us in an extremely strong position on these state law damage claims that are outside of the Superfund or CERCLA side. As the mayor indicated, we've been retained on a contingent fee arrangement such that the city and its taxpayers will not pay anything. If we are successful, the fees that we get will come out when that money comes to the city. So this is not something that the city is having to dig into their coffers for at this point, and we are prepared to move forward aggressively over the coming weeks and months to make sure this gets to fruition. With that, I'll be glad to take any questions anybody's got.
Well, you say you can't give us, your whole argument, but can you give us the cocktail napkin version? What are you going to say that how is the city wronged and how is Ameren responsible?
Well, I mean, the public facts already are very clear, and the mayor laid those out. This is a water field here that has been polluted and has had significant proof of where that comes from, and that responsible party is Ameren. And consequently, as we move through both the science and the facts, that is where our target is, to make sure that they make the people here, fully taken care of because of their action.
What's the running price tag on the damage done so far?
I'm not, as I said before, Kevin, I appreciate good questions, as you appreciate me not answering them sometimes, or don't appreciate me not answering them. But this is just not the place to lay out what those are. We're putting all of that sort of stuff together. This is a team of lawyers that is fully capable of dealing with significant sums in play and are not hesitant. We do not get nervous when additional commas appear in lists of numbers.
When you say damages, are those damages that you think the city is owed just for what's happened, or is it more?
We have both. I mean, like I say, I feel like I talked this morning about trying to explain all the legal stuff behind this. It's actually really interesting, and those of you that know me would know part of my problem when talking in the press is I end up saying too much in the sense of the law. But there was a 2020 United States Supreme Court case that laid out a pretty clear path around Superfund for state actions if the amount of damages and the remedy was not adequate to meet what the expenses and costs are for situations like this. And there have been a number of cases decided under that rubric since 2020, and some here in Missouri. And so we feel good about that. As far as the damage, I don't want to lay out what the categories are. I'm sure that folks on the opposite side of this are taking down every note of what I say here. But the bottom line is we would not be involved if we did not think that we could do a lot of good for the region. We would not be involved if we didn't have public officials like Mayor Borgmeyer and his team that are willing to lead here. I mean, we're in a time in public office where oftentimes it's just really easy to keep doing the same thing, to keep saying it's okay. I don't think this mayor or this administration has been afraid to push when it comes to the health and welfare of the people of St. Charles. The same as your county executive is not afraid to do that. And I just want to say it's refreshing as someone who is out of that business now. It's really refreshing to see leaders step up and lead, and that's what's going on here. They have sought out what, in my humble opinion, are the best law firms to do this, I think, in America, but I'll take the regional title if that's what's coming today. Experienced team. I really trust our folks. I just, and to do that at this point, while the Superfund stuff is still purring along, but is the right thing to do. And I feel very good about the opportunity to assist the people of St. Charles County here. Anything else?
So is Dow Bennett filing a lawsuit or negotiating a settlement? What's the next step?
We have not yet filed a lawsuit. We will. That's what we're working on. Today's announcement is announced we've been retained. We've been retained by the city and are now in the process of moving forward on this matter to make sure that our investigation is complete, and that if and when we do file that claim, that it is fully researched, fully prepared to go, and incredibly accurate on the law.
Is there any sort of timeline when we see lawsuits like this? Usually they take several years.
Well, it certainly doesn't take as long as a Superfund case. You know, that's one of the frustrations here is that, and it's a separate remedy, where these state court remedies are separate, but it would be in state court. It would not be in federal court, it would be in state court. Consequently, the dockets there are much easier to move forward. So I don't want to put ourselves on a clock here other than to say that we're working extremely hard on this. I don't expect anything to be filed in the very near future here. These are complicated claims and have to be pled and laid out correctly, and we're in the process of doing that. But just as the mayor and his team were not afraid to reach out for us in this situation, an experienced team, we will not be afraid to file an action when we have it ready.
Mayor, could you take a few questions? Could you give us a little background on the financial burden that has led you up to this point where Ameren's not giving you what you want without the assistance of an attorney?
Well, I won't get into a pugilistic kind of thing. Everybody knows that we've got serious.
Could you get by the mic, please? But I mean, you asked them in the past, hey, this is your stuff that got in the water, clean it up, but they wouldn't play along.
Based upon my position today, and the reason you all are here and the reason I'm here, is I'm out of options. I've tried everything, we've done all we could, and we're to the point now where the governor and his law firm are going to come in and take charge of this and make sure that we follow the right path down the future.
And what sort of cost is the city incurring just to buy extra water and just clean up the wells and all that kind of stuff?
Not something I'm going to get deeply into. We are bearing the expense of the water, and we are shielding at this point our customers from that by the emergency fund that we have built into our water operation. So at this point, it's not costing our customers any more out of pocket, although we're using their emergency fund money. So that's part of the fund that the law firm will address.
How long does that emergency fund last?
Depends upon what the water demands are and how long that goes on. We're moving into summertime. So,
Well, can I ask you one more?
Kenny?
What is your feeling about Ameren not being big about this? It seems like they're hiding behind the possibility that maybe they won't have to pay the thing, rather than saying, hey, we got some stuff in your water, what do we owe you? I mean, how do you feel about a big utility that's supposed to be the shining utility that helped us all, isn't helping you out at this moment?
Again, I'm not going to get into a pugilistic battle with the people from Ameren. I was very respectful of what the rail company did in East Palatine with the damage they had there. They stepped right up, they took responsibility, and they moved. That's why the governor is here to help us move along that path.
You've always been pugilistic in the past.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You can already see what effect I'm having on him. I'm taking your good quotes, the good quotes you would get to write up, away from him by keeping him focused on what we got to get done here. It's a serious business. Drinking water is a very serious thing. The damages and costs that are affecting something of this magnitude are significant. And we are dealing with that responsibility very seriously. Once again, I want to thank, on behalf of our firm and the Blitz Law Firm, the city and the folks here at the administration showing the confidence they had in us, and we expect to have a great relationship as we move forward in the coming weeks and months in this matter. Thank you all very, very much for coming out.